Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Jakara. And today we're going to continue our style series. We're going to be talking about a style that I personally love, and that is maximalism.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes.
Okay, so maximalism, what is it? Is it just throwing a bunch of stuff on willy-nilly and just hoping for the best outcome? No, that's not what maximalism is. Basically, maximalism is a style. It can be in the form of an interior style or fashion or art where you are curating a look based on color, pattern, boldness. Some of the main components of maximalism is individualism, creativity, being artistic, using color, using texture, all those wonderful things, and basically throwing the rule book out on the street, not following any particular fashion rules, and using fashion to express your personality in the most bold, dramatic, exciting, experimental way. Some of the other aspects of maximalism include being dramatic. You want to be seen, right? You want something that draws attention, creates a spectacle. Uh, Sometimes it can uh, show this level of not elegance, but extravagance, excess, abundance. You have abundance of accessories, you have abundance of color, abundance of texture, all of the things. And this is not a style for the faint of heart, for anyone who wants to kind of shy into the background, anyone who's afraid of color. Although there are some examples of using this style without a lot of color, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But basically, it is showing your individuality through all of these different aspects of fashion. And the maximalist style can span different eras of time. So it can be, including the 70s, the 60s, the 80s, whatever. And any time period basically within the recent past. Let's talk about the history of maximalism. Now, I feel like this style has been around for a very, very long time, but I think the essence of the style didn't start until maybe the Art Nouveau era, which was about the 1890s approximately, where there's a lot more correlation to like nature and forms, like curvy forms, and just kind of a free flowing style as opposed to like the Victorian style, which was very, buttoned up and but it didn't become very prominent until probably the late 50s and the early 60s, especially in the 60s and the 70s. You can see all of the psychedelic colors and the mixture of patterns and all those wacky colors that people were wearing back then, and people still do today. But like I said before, it is not necessarily a haphazard way of dressing. It's very intentional. And the intent is to create or evoke a feeling of playfulness, of artisticness, and individuality, as I stated before. So, even though this style gained prominence through the late 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s, it became less known and less used with throughout the 2000s and within the last say 20 years, and we've seen more styles towards the minimal style, just try to make it functional, neutral colors, things like that. But to my delight, it has found a resurgence in the last 2 to 3 years, especially in light of the pandemic, which had us really restricted on where we could go, who we could see, what we could do. So I think that especially among the Generation Z, it is a really, really popular style. People have really kind of taken hold of it, and they've learned to use it and made it more modern, actually. And I personally consider myself a more modern maximalist. I do like to mix patterns and colors and things like that, but I don't like to pile it on. Like, one of the most famous maximalist is Iris Apfel. If you don't know her, Google her. She is a fashion icon. I think she's now 101 or 102 years old and still rocking her maximalist style. Now, she is the example of kind of an elevated maximalist style, but she's also very, artistic. It's you have to Google her. I'll put some pictures on the screen here of her just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So maximalism can go from just kind of street style maximalism to the more elevated maximalism as well. So let's talk about some of the components of the maximalist style. Now, I did talk about a little bit of this, and one is bright colors. Obviously, I love bright colors. Bold silhouettes, meaning oversized jackets and oversized shoulders and sleeves and things like that. Bold patterns, including stripes and geometric patterns and circles and dots and things like that, and mixing and matching those things. And then, as I mentioned, oversized accessories like my watch here or my bangle here, and just kind of piling it on. A lot of maximalists do that. And, big accessories, big earrings, things like that. That was a real big thing in the 80s. Trust me, I was there. I remember I used to be a model in the 80s, so I know we were wearing the big shoulder pads and the big earrings and just, you know, it was maximalism to the, you know, nth degree. Anyway, you also have a lot of mixture of textures, whether you're talking leather or suede, macrame, and uh, satin, and fur, and lace, and all of those things. So you can use all of those components to create and curate a maximalist look for yourself. Okay, so you know about the history, you know about the components of the maximalist style, you've seen a few examples. Let's start putting together some maximalist outfits or using these components to build a maximalist wardrobe. So, like I said, this is all about curation, right? You want to curate these things over time. One of the things you can do is you can thrift clothes. That's a good sustainable way of getting different styles from different eras. If you want to add that into your wardrobe and use that as a base or jump off for building your maximalist wardrobe. I personally prefer to go the color route. So you should get really familiar with the color wheel. And if you're not familiar with the color wheel, I'll put it up here. And the one of the keys to building this style is knowing the color wheel, knowing what are complementary colors and which ones are contrasting colors, or complementary colors meaning colors that are opposite the color wheel, or contrasting colors, things that are different saturations, or uh, not quite adjacent, but not quite right across from each other on the color wheel, because you're going to use that. to determine what is going to look best on you. Prefer to like build on certain colors. So for me, it's blue, it's purple, it's pink, it's green, it's all shades of those things. And then I use white and black as my base colors. So those are the colors I use. Now, you may want to pick orange and yellow and red and green as your base colors. But if you use those colors and you learn how to balance them out in what you're wearing, then you can come up with some really killer looks. Another key for building a maximalist wardrobe and using the maximalist style to its fullest potential is to balance the proportions of what you're wearing. For instance, if you're going to wear something, really flouncy like a scarf like this, you want to wear something more fitted, maybe in your base, or the opposite. If you want to wear something really like a flouncy blouse, then you want to wear like maybe some pencil pants, pencil skirt, something that is balanced in proportion. You don't want to walk around with just like big everything, like big on top, big on the bottom, or just skinny on. I mean, you could do that. Like I said, there are no rules in this style. You do whatever you want, but it looks better if you can balance out the silhouette a little bit. So, say you put on a white t shirt, but then you put on an oversized blazer that might have a funky pattern on it, like polka dots or stripes or a bunch of geometric patterns, and then pair it with like some minimal jeans, like black jeans or something like that. Or you could go all out. If you want to go all out, you can keep the white t-shirt with the blazer, but then you wear a funky stripe in addition to the geometric pattern that you might have on your blazer. You might pick a color out of the blazer and use that on the bottom instead of, just a neutral. So think about those things when you're trying to put together a maximalist look. You want to keep that balance as best as possible. So the next thing on my list of a way to curate a maximalist wardrobe is to layer things. So obviously layering is really popular, especially during the winter months and the fall and winter months. But you can also do it in the summer. Like right now, I have a halter dress on with a scarf, and the scarf has a print that corresponds, and the colors correspond to the stripes that I have on and my hat. But there's also some components of geometric patterns with circles, and then I have flowers. I have a flower here. So just layering the look. Uh, Again, with the accessories, you want to layer as much as you can. Like, I don't like to wear a whole lot of, if I'm going to wear bold jewelry, I'm going to make sure that my jewelry is, maybe one thing that you can see. Sometimes I'll do a stack, but most of the time I don't. And if I wear a necklace, I usually just do one bold necklace. I used to stack like little small jewelry necklaces, but right now I'd rather just do a big bulls necklace so that you can see it and it makes a statement, right? The idea is more. So you can't put on too much. Let's say, I mean, it's summertime and I don't want to put on a whole lot, but I put these things on. You can see, it makes a statement, the statement that I want to make. And a lot of times you can use your accessories more for the layering, like I said, with jewelry. And also, there's a big emphasis on hats and scarves and belts, in addition to the jewelry. Even like your glasses, when I wear my sunglasses, I usually wear some big, bold sunglasses. So you want to be as bold as you feel you can be in maximalism. So the final key I want to talk about is just individualism. Like I said, expressing your personality, the way in which you want to show the world who you are, and not dressing like everybody else. Just because everybody else has jeans on doesn't mean you have to wear jeans. But if you do want to wear jeans, maybe you want to wear a funky color or mix it with a different pattern, or wear a scarf or a skirt over it. Who knows? Like I said before, there are no rules here. It's just really using the style to express who you are to the world, and standing boldly in it and say, hey, this is me. Me. I love the way I look. I love the way I dress. And you don't have to like it, but I love it. This style also varies from country to country. Uh, for instance, in Italy, they don't do so much as the bold color, but they will do different textures like mixing lace with leather or leather fringe, or having fur collars with, satin, or, just mixing those things. They usually go for more neutral, toned down colors, but they do mix a lot of the textures together, which is also very fun. And in Paris, they tend to do more artistic kind of interpretations with color and pattern and also texture. And there was a picture I think I saw, and I'll put it up here. I don't remember who the creator was, but I'll put it up here. Who had like this geometric type coat on with stuffed animals attached to it. You think like Lady Gaga when she had all those stuffed animals attached to her dress and stuff like that. I mean, that is like more avant garde. In New York City, they tend to, do more uh, complementary colors, contrasting colors. They are more like of a sleek street style look. And again, they push the envelope as to what is wearable. But like I said, it evokes a feeling, a mood, drama, things like that. So it does vary from country to country on what this style is. Maximalism is rooted in fine art. So it is really about how can you push the envelope? How can you, evoke emotion and reaction in some ways? I mean, not necessarily in a bad way, really just like I said, it's to be seen, is to stand out, it is to create a drama moment. And if you're not dramatic, if you don't feel like this is for you, I totally understand. Like I said, I use this particular form of fashion in a very toned down way, but I still use it in my own way to express myself. Now, do you think this style is for you? Do you think that you could pull it off? I mean, I've given you some examples. I've talked about the components of it and the keys to curating. This could be something you create over time. And just because the trends say this, that, or the other doesn't mean you can't wear this for the rest of your life, like Iris Apple. It becomes a part of your personality. Like I said, you are expressing who you are. And I think that is the beauty of maximalism, is that it really shows people how you're feeling and who you are to the world, and you're not hiding, and you're standing unapologetically in who you are. And anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm, helps bring more eyes to my channel, which I'm trying to grow my channel, you guys. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. If you like videos like this, we're going to continue the style series. I know I've been kind of like falling behind on the style stuff, but I will get back to that. And like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the subscribe button if you like videos like this, and the notification bell so you know when I upload my next video. And until I see you next time, take care.